Ooh, I should with the Green Lanterns. I
Hi, my
should
name
do
is
it.
Shawn Shaler. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek, checking out his own shelves. That's serious. His shelf got serious drip. Welcome to Avatar: The Last Podcasters. My name's Chris. That's my name's not Chris. My name's Shawn. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka the
You
Objective Geek
wish.
of YouTube and Twitter fame. I don't
Okay.
wish. I have a brother named Chris. It'd be very confusing, Chris.
That's
And
true.
we're still ranking every bender. And hey, last week we did Airbender, so this week we're gonna do. I gotta find the right slide. Oh, look at all these other things. Oh, crap.
Waterbenders. You couldn't think of that off the top of your head?
No, but I can't. I'm sure you can't see it because you can't see me. Trying to click. So in my head, the slides were back to back. So I left it on Airbender, and I was like, oh, I'll click the next button, and it'll change it to Waterbender. But apparently, the images in the directory are out of order. So instead of being really cool and clicking it once, I clicked it 13 times and went through lots of other thumbnails and slides that we've used. And now we're on every waterbender ranked, which is what we're doing today. And I'm not going to try that next week because it didn't work very well. Who knew they weren't in order? There's no reason for them to not be in order. They're numerically ordered. Come on, OBS. Anyway, welcome to every waterbender ranked. Chris, it's been 3 minutes since we finished recording the previous one. How are you? How you doing?
I'm doing great. By this point, the Lakers are firmly in sixth. Wait, no, that would be Nets. Maybe by Saturday they'll be in sixth spot. Well, by this point, they probably would have played a playoff game.
They would have played a
Anyway.
play-in game by this point, I think.
Oh, I'm hoping they get sixth place shot, and it's still possible. I just need the Lakers to win the Nets two, and the Warriors to lose one. Then they'll be in the sixth spot.
I Yeah, okay, I could see that happening. Why not? I think they
And then
missed
play
they
the
missed their
Kings.
opportunity. Like they needed to beat the Clippers. That would have felt good. Resounding little
Oh,
cap near the end of the season. But
I wasn't even mad that they lost to the Clippers because it was a freaking back to back. I mean, when they went to overtime the day
hmm,
before. Clippers have been off for like 4 days, and Russ made his first three shots. It was like nothing but net. I was like, all right, whatever.
that's always a
Like,
bad start when I guess Russ knows which direction the goal's in these days.
yeah.
Today in particular. No offense, Russ. Yeah, I think they would have played at least one of the play-in games by now, but I could be wrong. But well, anyway,
Their number six ranked, Sean. I am holding on to that.
okay, we'll
Or
fact
or
we'll
yeah, or
fact
the
check
big
that in the
player.
description. Um, when the time comes, we'll have to edit it in and be like, sorry. Uh,
Guarantee. You know what Charles Barkley guarantees.
I I've I find it particularly hard to listen to him when he is extremely confident about anything. He's extra unbearable. This
Today, I
uh,
was cracking up. Sorry, I quick detour because I was cracking up laughing. Shannon Sharp was they were doing something. They're talking about Cam Newton. Cam Newton was saying like all the places he would back up a quarterback. All the quarterback he was specifically said I would back up
he
this
didn't
person, this
name
person.
franchises. He named quarterbacks.
Yes, it the list omitted like Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, who are like you. Those are like top
And
three
Justin
of the
Herbert, right? Like he omitted the
yeah. And
top
Justin Herbert. And Justin
four
Herbert.
pocket passing quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Which okay,
Granted,
whatever.
in hindsight, I think he did that because he would work better in the system with running quarterbacks. In
Yeah.
hindsight, but Skip told Shannon in a way of like, no. In the Skip was like, my. I was thinking he was saying that he would compete against these other quarterbacks he didn't name for the position of the number one quarterback. And Shannon Sharp was like, and like, well, then Skip said he thinks he can compete against Patrick. And, and Shannon said, Patrick who? Patrick who? He's like, Mahomes? Mahomes is a transcendent talent. I'm not talking about great. There's great players, and then there is generational players, and then there are transcendent players. There ain't no way. Skip, you heard the man wrong. Skip. You heard the man wrong. And he was so mad.
Listen, Shannon, Skip is
Oh,
old. He's gonna misunderstand things sometimes. Take it easy on him.
I think he did misunderstand what Kevin was saying. Although Kevin was still a little outlandish and what like you should back up anybody like that. Like just be appreciative for a job at this point in your career. But it was
Also,
just, I
like
was
Cam,
cracking up
Cam would
laughing.
still have a lot to offer a lot of teams, and there's a lot of teams with
I would
quarterbacks.
actually might like it if he goes to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are like terrible at third and shorts for some reason.
Horrible at
At,
third and short.
yeah, third and eight, I'm like, all right, 75% chance they get it. Probably higher
We
than that.
our
But
third
third and
and
one,
short, our third and short, we constantly resort to gadget plays because we can't
yeah,
convert in any normal. So like Cam would have a lot to offer
and
our
they
offense.
will never do a QB sneak because last time they did that, Patrick Mahomes' ankle was at his calf, not his ankle, his
It
knee
turned
was
inside
was
out.
yeah was at his calf muscle,
I
and
I would favor the Chiefs signing a. I would value sort of accuracy and timing, just like sort of Chad Henne traits, like Chad was so successful in the
yeah,
backup role, and even Matt Moore when he had to play. And those are sort of timing accuracy type guys. But listen, if Cam wanted to come play, wouldn't be sad. But it doesn't sound like he wants to.
yeah.
Um,
Anyway, sorry for that
anyway, that's a,
sports divergent.
we didn't talk about sports at all last week. We only made like one John
Yeah,
Mulaney
you're
reference.
welcome.
Two, yeah. We what a terrible week. But this week we're talking about waterbenders, and I have a feeling that there'll be more sports talk because I'm pretty sure I saw pro bender in here somewhere. Is that an accurate statement?
Ah, yeah,
I did.
yeah.
Chris, hey, that's a great segue. Are you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Okay, well I saw pro bender on here because he is number 19 and his name is Tano. He's a
Man, I have a number one.
professional.
I'm
He's
at
a professional
number
waterbender,
last.
Chris,
I'm not
and you
number
have
one.
him ranked last. I'm not
How do I have a?
I'm not arguing against it. It's just funny.
It's huh. That is interesting that I have him like dead last. So
That's very
Tano,
amusing. Yeah.
voiced
Skip.
by Oscar winner Rami Malek,
Oh, nice.
is the head of the Wolf Bats. He went toe to toe with Korra in pro bending tournaments. So that's all I know him from. Pro bending in the way that the game is played, because you can't just overpower and hose people. It's not. It doesn't. It's not a great display of strength and powers when it comes to bending, but he's still a great bender. Like I just have him as last. And I know we've probably seen other waterbenders. These are like I said in the previous video, these are the most notable ones. If I don't remember a name or you showed up in for a couple seconds, I'm not including you. So Tano at the last at number 19.
I say honestly, I think Tano's probably only here because they were part of like story plot. Otherwise, there's really so minimal evidence to work off of that you could have justified leaving him off too. But it's funny to have a pro bender last. Number 18, Chris. This list is much more interesting at the bottom than last week's list. Number 18 is Aang and the Other Avatars.
Ooh, wow, really, man?
Yeah,
Who the
you
heck
are
do I have?
harsh. But
Okay,
listen, I don't see a reason to not have them where you have
okay.
them.
Well, I'm glad you're agreeing with that. I need to grab my tablet so I can actually reference this list. But I like kind of being surprised by my own rankings with your assistance with it.
Well,
Man,
yeah.
Aang and the other avatars.
Let's go
So
through a few of the
Aang,
next in order, right? And then you can refresh your thought process. How's that sound?
okay,
I'm gonna do the next two because they feel applicable in this tier, in this quartile. Number
do it.
17 is Kaya. Number 16 is Karima.
Mm,
And that feels like that's the right Aang
okay,
other avatars waterbending quartile.
yeah, okay. Aang is a great waterbender, and I believe he's a master waterbender. Kaya has shown more ability with waterbending than Aang has, especially in her fight with Minghua. And Karima knows very precise techniques. Um, so I now that I think about it, I think I am. pretty good with Aang being lower than those two.
I think you could rationalize any of those three in any
I think,
order
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
comfortably, and I'm happy with where you landed. Number 15, this one, we had a nice discussion about this one. I like this. Number 15 is Hama.
Yeah. People, I'm sure that confuses the crap out of people.
Remember,
Because
just, I mean, the rationalization here is the full moon, right? Like she's aided and abetted by the full moon, and once that was gone, she
yeah, she's an old lady.
kind of overtaken. Yeah. Uh,
And also, so every bender above here is a master bender, and Katara, even being a master at that young of an age, because in this case, in this unique situation, that there's a full moon, the Hama strength is compared to someone else's strength, they can undo. Katara was able to undo that blood bending because she's strong enough. She gets enough power from the moon herself that she can undo it. And that was before Katara was even able to bloodbend other people. And so I don't think being a blood, I don't think you have to be a bloodbender to stop someone. In fact, that's a proven fact. You don't have to be a bloodbender to stop someone from bending, controlling you yourself.
this might be a little contentious. I would argue that you don't need to be an amazing waterbender to
Mm.
understand and use bloodbending. That might be a little contentious, but I believe that.
I would disagree. I think you do. I mean, there's only if more people could do it, they would do it, even if it is
I'm not
illegal.
saying. I'm saying I think you can somewhat separate the abilities. Like I don't think there's any
Oh, I
sort
get what
of
you're saying. Okay.
innate extra power to Hama that like really opened her path to bloodbending. Maybe I'm saying what I said the first time, but I don't know. She just there's no evidence, I guess, of being an incredible waterbender so much as that she very much
Mm.
focused on learning how to
Yeah.
bloodbend.
Okay.
I don't know, niche, narrow, something like that. I think it's the
Yeah.
right spot. Number 14, Paku. I think this one and the
Master
one above it
Paku.
could be an interesting debate.
Yeah. Like, so I was conflicted on putting Paku below Katara because he straight up handled her like a boss. Um, Granted, Katara got better after that point, but like, now that I think about it, should Paku be ahead of Katara? Now I'm curious where Katara's at.
Katara has probably a much broader range of abilities, and when they fought, you were seeing much closer to peak Paku and not peak Katara. So
True. Yeah. Yeah. That's
I,
probably fine. I'm probably fine, but yeah, never mind.
I feel bad for putting Paku. I don't know if it was right or not, but you got Paku behind number 13. Who? The Vinebender from the swamp.
So, dude created a huge freaking giant monster that took two pretty powerful benders to bring down. Uh, so that's probably what. And being able to vine bend is almost like it's not a subset, but it's more of like a step one of like being able. I thought every bender could do that. Pretty much every water bender could do it. But not all of them do it. I don't know.
It's
But
like
anyway, he
halfway
was
to
able.
bloodbending, I think is what you're getting at, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're not
Um,
bending water, you're finding the water contained in something else and bending
yes,
that
and
thing.
continuously bending it and bending like hundreds of just things of seaweed and vines to make a monster continuously. I've never seen him do any like really strong techniques, of just like water. Um, but he can do that all the time.
Yeah,
He
that's
doesn't
fair.
need a moon for it.
Well, and like I just said for Hama, it's it's very niche or very narrow, but very potent, very powerful display of bending. Number 12, interesting. Eska and Desna.
Eska and Desna. Funny because I didn't even care to separate them because they are the exact same
Yeah,
person.
we got
Just
nothing.
yeah, they just have
The only
different.
we
parts.
I got to be honest. I still, when I'm looking at it, I got to think. Eska is Aubrey
I
Plaza, and Desna is the boy
yeah,
whose name I don't
I
even
think
know.
so. Yes.
Got to think
Yes.
about it.
Yeah.
Um. Hey, yeah, they show off some cool abilities, and even if you don't count them as a couple, right? We're not saying that they get to combine their powers,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they show off some neat abilities. I
Yeah, exactly.
think
That's I don't I feel like I don't have that much to go in depth with them, but they've shown some great fighting prowess and abilities.
fighting prowess, and then also just picturing her like water skiing across the top of the water, chasing Bolin,
Mm,
is
yeah.
very terrifying. Number
Oh
11.
gosh. Yeah.
In my mind, this is where this
Hey,
list
maybe I should have separated them and put Asuka above Desna
for that
because
one
that's like the
display.
only time. Yeah.
That's reasonable. Chris, in my mind, this is where this list turns from, from the good to the great. Is right here at number
Oh,
11
okay.
is Unalak. Number 11.
Yeah.
I think that's a
Monologue.
big jump from 12 to 11, and it, obviously gets better.
Yeah, definitely. Monologue, able to hold his own against like his Avatar State waterbending was able to go up against Korra's Avatar State waterbending. So if I like brought that down to no Avatar State, they would match pretty well. Um, he was also able to like spirit bending is a water bending technique. That one is very niche. But his abilities and fighting abilities, I think, are really high.
Number 10, Katara.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna lose people with that. People, I feel like people if they watch this, would just think I'm a hater. They were haters and hating on Katara. Katara's great.
I think,
She really is. Like, she's
thankfully, I
a
think anybody who's watched us over time, if they stuck with us this long, they probably, they're the real
uh,
ones, Chris.
sure. Katara is a great waterbender, great enough to teach others. Um, she is also a healer, which we don't really talk about too much. Because honestly, on this list,
She's a bloodbender,
only
also.
well, I don't give her that because she doesn't do it. Like she did it once, and so I never give her any credit for bloodbending. She is adamantly opposed to it and never does it. Well, she did it twice. Sorry, I take that back. Um, what's there to say about Katara? Everyone knows Katara. Katara's great. Like she can teach. She was able to beat Azula and with a granted that was technique, but able to like put up ice above to trap yourself in another person, then steam yourself out of it. Amazing
That was awesome.
technique there.
And that's we're talking about young Katara there too, right? We don't. That's not even old wizened Katara.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Tonrock.
So I was so going back and forth between, we talked about this. Like, should I put Katara above Tonrock or Tonrock above Katara? Eh, maybe I did make a mistake. Maybe I should have put Tonrock below. I don't know.
You think so?
The,
I'm still on
so
the fence.
okay, Tonrock has such great like physical fighting that when I think about could Katara, I imagine a fight between Katara and Tonrock.
The fight, okay,
Uh,
but you got to give some credit to Katara's healing, and I wonder if that should have been
yeah,
like
and
the tiebreaker
honestly,
kind of.
I don't think I put enough emphasis on that because I don't think Tonrock can heal. I've never seen him heal himself before.
How many people have we seen heal with waterbending? It's a small group.
Korra, Kyoshi, that was terrible. I was just listening to that audio book. Like her, like Jinpa saw her healing herself and her neck wounds, and he's like, "Shouldn't the water glow?" And she's like, "My water don't glow for some reason. I don't know. I'm terrible at healing." And like her heals don't heal all the her scars don't heal all the way and stuff. Her wounds don't heal all the way.
Better than
Anyway,
nothing.
Katara, Kyoshi, Korra, um, Atu Wat, um,
Did you just call me a twat?
Yeah. And I want to say one other person, various other people at the healer that Katara meets. Um, oh, Kaya. Kaya's a healer also. You know what? I probably would factor in healing, which I don't think I considered that much. I probably her fighting prowess is really great. Like a fight between her and Tanarog would go the distance. So yeah, so put Katara. I
Okay.
would switch those two. What does that make Katara?
9 and Town Rock 10.
Uh, I'm good
Chris,
with that.
I think the next, I'm going to say the next 3 or 4, the next 3 I think get pretty spicy here. Number 8, Minghua.
Ooh, Ming Hua, like man,
Terrifying. Just
like
terrifying from the ground up.
she's. I'm not sure if she's the deadliest waterbender, but she probably is if I think about it hard enough. She dismantled Kaya, which learned from Katara. Like Kaya should be a master waterbender, and she owned her.
To bend
Um,
in the fashion that she's bending feels like such a feat of precision.
yeah, she's quick. The fight between her and Eskandesna put her on another level. Um, and she's so quick with it. Man, yeah, she's great.
Complex too,
Who's
like
the
highly
next?
precise and super complex.
Yeah,
Next, Chris, this is why this gets spicy. Next one on the list is Korra.
I thought Courtney. I remember Courtney.
You know what, Chris?
That's a
I'm
really
gonna
tough
propose
fight.
that you let me throw out the next one on the list too, because it's just a real interesting trio. You ready
Yeah.
for this? So Minghua is 8, Korra is 7, Kyoshi is 6.
Why did oh, I remember why I had Kyoshi so high.
Yeah,
Okay. There's
regale us,
one
Chris.
there's one technique that put Kyoshi so high. If it wasn't for this technique, I might not have put her as high. So Kyoshi can heal by healing summons. She's a great waterbender, as every avatar is. Um, but Kyoshi can do the freaking freeze your heart technique. So that put her above Korra. Meanwhile, the reason why I have Korra so high, I've never seen another waterbender bend water like probably half football size field of water. No, not that's too big. Maybe half a football field, maybe. Up about 20 stories and freeze someone with no avatar state. That's freaking raw power. And she's also able to create huge funnels and also travel at like speeds of 40 or 50 miles an hour probably in those funnels while building another element, which I'm not including that, but just the concentration and technique it takes to do that water bending.
I think we
But
could
Kyoshi
spend
can free someone's heart out.
I think we could spend a lot of time on that trio, ordering and reordering them in I mean any order on that 3.
Yeah.
But ultimately, tough choice. Uh, yeah, freezing your heart. Every time you say that, I get a little chill up my spine. Chris, number 5 is Tagaka, the Pirate Queen.
Tagaka, maybe I have her too high. I had her so high, not
You
even
know,
necessarily technique, but because she felt like an equal to Jeonju and to uh no, I think I had her too high, honestly. No, I think about it. She felt to me she felt like equal to those people, Jeonju, Kelsang, and Heiran. And that might have been that might have been too much speculation.
like apples to oranges across the bending types. That's fair. Um, I
Oh,
mean,
if I had hmm, I think
it's
she was such a threat. Like she was the leader of a fifth nation that she created herself. Hmm.
it's a small sample size to work off of, but the what little we know about her is instantly terrifying.
I need to look up like just a wiki of her to have a quick memory or quick jog of what she did.
Let's move.
I think what?
We'll move forward, and then if you have a brain
Okay.
blast, I think talking about the next one will give you a brain blast about Tagaka, because the next one is Atuat.
Yeah. What rank is this?
This is number 4.
Yeah. Honestly, she might be able to be higher. Like when we talk about healing, we talk about the best of the best. No one comes freaking close to her. Like she saved so many people from the way she describes her bending, and I know it's not exaggeration. She makes it like she's saved people from the sheer close brink of death. And also she's like she talks about how she's able to like cold the body enough to keep it from dying. Like I don't know, she I don't think we ever even see her do any like fighting, but that alone, her skill. This is probably one of the times where like skills and something besides fighting ranked someone so high. Like she invented the freeze your body techniques that Kyoshi learned.
I think it would be reasonable to put her higher, or you could make a good argument, especially because going any higher, you're kind of getting into the antithesis of Atuat. Number 3 is Yakone.
Yeah, that's a
It's
interesting.
a
I have a.
quick flip.
It's interesting because Yakone, he said when he's talking to uh his kids, his sons, like we come from a long line of bloodbenders. Like when he said that, I was confused. I was like, the only bloodbender we saw was Hama. Like that was it. But
And they're
I
like, yeah,
wonder,
Grandma
this is
Hama, man. That's
she like she was in prison her whole life from the age of she was probably I feel like she was 16 when she was in
yeah, I don't
prison
want
for
to know
some
how those
reason.
kids happen.
Yeah. But I don't think she had any kids. I think she would. Oh man, that would make her. That would be so interesting if she actually. In my head canon, she's not there. She's not related to them. Um, but that would make her story
So much scarier.
more
Well, and
sadder. Like she was ripped away from her. That would be such.
like if her
If she
kid was
had
Yakone's
kids,
dad or something like that,
yes,
and that would be terrible,
yes.
and also kind of an awesome story.
I now in my head canon, like I don't think that happened because to me she looked so young at that point in time, and also she didn't say I had kids. A person like that holding those grudges, she said I was torn from my brothers and sisters. She would have said they took my kids from me. Like if she, things they're probably smart for not doing that because then everyone would be like, "Nah, we get it, Hama. They took your kids from you. F all of them, kill them all. Do whatever you."
In the words of
uh,
Chris Tucker in Rush Hour, yeah, you shoot his ass. But
so I don't think she's related to them, but I feel like Atuat shares some relation with uh with um
Yakone.
with Yukon because like what other while she's not a bloodbender, her bending is
Just
in the
because she
same
doesn't do
family.
it doesn't mean she, you know,
Yeah, I'm
didn't
pretty
like.
sure she could. She is reaching into people and controlling. She's controlling them, which is blood. I would call her a bloodbender. Yeah, I would call her a bloodbender.
I'm gonna say
Like
that
she's.
she does as part of her
I
healing
think so.
process,
She
even.
just doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. I would define her as a bloodbender, definitely.
So yeah,
Uh, so I would.
maybe great
I in
great
my
great
head
grandma
canon.
Atuat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Yakone also a very powerful bender in
Which
his own right.
makes.
Yeah, I think
Right.
there again you could probably argue about flipping those two if you wanted, and I'm hard not to see that.
Yeah.
Number 2
Yeah.
is interesting.
Yukon just powerful enough to freaking bloodbend a whole courtroom of some of the most powerful benders in the world, including Aang and Toph. Yeah, guy is a freaking beast.
Number 2 is interesting, but the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. Number 2 is Tarlock.
Yeah, Tarlok I think is underrated because he is the the younger brother in the number two Bloodbender. Although a case can be made that Yakone is a better Bloodbender than Tarlok, or as good. It's just hard to separate the two. That
Mm.
being said, I think their bloodbending is probably the same because Tarlok's also able to just take out a whole room of some of the most powerful benders. But his waterbending skills are one of the best. Like in just fighting just waterbending, he ranks up with everyone. And he's a bloodbender on top of that.
And Chris, that brings us a great segue there, by the way, to number one is Amon.
Yeah, number one's Amon. This should be no surprise to anyone. Anyone who tries to just say that like Qatar could beat Amon is, is just silly. Like Amon is the most powerful person that isn't fused with any type of spirit. Like bar none. He is the most powerful person that's not fused with spirit, which that includes avatars or dark avatars or like things like Yoon and Father Glowworm combination. He's the most powerful. There's no comparisons, no matches to that.
That
And the
was
fact that like Unalaq, like when Amon goes to capture Unalaq, and Unalaq is like, ha ha ha, you have no idea. And he tries to bloodbend him, and every one of Amon's henchmen gets all bloodbended and submitted, and Amon just walks slowly towards him. Like that's freaking scary, and he takes him out so quickly.
I
And he's
think
able to take away bending through blood bending. That's next level stuff there.
I think he is the easiest number one to pick, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think. We'll see, though. Chris, final thoughts on waterbenders. What animal waterbenders, Chris? Where do you got to rank your waterbending animals? What is a waterbending
Uh,
animal? Um,
I mean, there's Twa and Lee, but they're spirits. I didn't count them.
no.
Or just Twa. Well, I guess they both been water.
I know, but if you
Um,
start getting in the spirit world, things get crazy real fast.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Animal. I can't even think of an animal that waterbend.
I can't even think of
Yeah, there actually isn't one. I don't think.
I can't think of other waterbenders in passing that weren't literal, background characters in one of the polls.
Yeah. That being said,
Got
I'll
nothing.
probably take Tagaka back like 4 levels. Probably. Yeah.
I think
Take her back like
I think you could. Let me see. If Katara's 9, Minghwa's 8, maybe Tagaka. I would say 8, so Minghua would then move up to 7. But if you said 7 and Minghua 8, something like that,
okay. Yeah.
that's in that ballpark. But also, listen, I know it's not a waterbending power, but it's cool that she's a pirate queen. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Just
Like
by itself.
I loved her character in the book.
Yeah, she had that she had that kind of rationalized bad guy gray area thing going on, calling out the
Yeah.
other guys on their crap.
Like
I liked that.
and she was menacing. Like she was holding hostages on board and they couldn't say crap. And like and Yoon had to play this that was probably peak Yoon. Because he had to play a political game. Like he couldn't like sprawl her on or agitate her. It would just make the situation worse. That was a great. My second reading and readings after that part of the story got a lot better. And my first reading of it, was just a little bit confusing, but it got a lot better.
My mental imagery cleared up after my second, more recent listen through. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris, that's Waterbenders. If you come back next week, we are gonna do Earthbenders,
Earth,
and then
fire.
finally we will change clothes and do Firebenders the week after that. Finally, we
Yeah.
will change clothes. And yeah, my name's Shawn Shaler. That's my friend over there, Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter fame. We're Avatar The Last Podcasters. I'll put our details in the description like I always do. We hope you'll come hang out with us again next week. See you later.
Green Arrow. Deathstroke. No, I like having people on this with me.